Welcome to Behind the Lens, a photo essay assignment. I know some of you are quite excited about getting started, so let's begin. The first thing you're going to need to do is look in your textbook. If you don't have a textbook, I would suggest you borrow one from a friend. Every image that is used for this assignment must come directly from the textbook. No external images can be entertained whatsoever. So find something that you find intriguing or interesting because you're going to be working with this for some time. So for our purposes, I've selected Dion Arbus's Identical Twins. And the first thing we also have to note is that all of the images that you choose, the one you're going to work with needs to be in black and white. Your reproductions will also be in black and white. So here, if we look at this image and we talk about theory, let's begin by looking at them and suggesting that the two girls both represent the beautiful. You can see their arms and legs are close to their body. Their hair is well coiffed. They have no sexualization. There are no open orifices. And so we can pretty well state that the two girls both represent the beautiful. However, if we look a little more closely, we can begin to see that one of the girls appears to have more authority than the other. I would suggest that would be the girl here. You can see that her arm is in front of the other. She's standing forward of the other girl. This girl, if you look at her closely, her hair is less well coiffed. It's a little bit messy. If we look at her face, we can see that her eyes seem to be drooping somewhat. Her lids seem to be heavier. She's not smiling. Not that that's a characteristic of the beautiful, but in this case, we see the drooping leotards. The two girls then, of the two, this girl has more authority. And that means that what we have here are two essentially beautiful figures, one of whom has more authority. That is what we call difference. That is from the theory of Jacques Derrida, which we have studied in class. So, if that's the theory that we're going to work with, then when you look at your image, I want you to think about a variety of theories. Start with the easiest. Who has authority? Who is the beautiful? Is anyone in your image the beautiful? If not, are they the grotesque? So look at those two simple theories first. Look for the carnivalesque. Look for the punctum. Remember, that's how we enter the image emotionally. That's the difference between studium meaning to study, versus punctum, which is that emotional way in which you puncture the screen, puncture the two-dimensionality of that photograph, move inside of it and begin to feel the emotion of it. Of course, look for the obvious, the race, class, gender, and nation. Your outline then is a single sheet of paper, 220 words, double-spaced. In your first paragraph, I want you to explain the theory you think the photographer used to create the photo. Move on to the second paragraph. In this paragraph, you're going to explain how you are going to recreate the theory of the image you have chosen. You are not going to recreate the content. So if we have a picture of two girls, two twins, you don't want to make an image that's literal, that just shows a picture of two twins. It's not creative. You want to be far more creative with this assignment. So what not to do in the outline? Don't write a history. Don't do a biography of the photographer. Don't research the image itself, under what circumstances it was taken, anything about the background at all. Rather, what I want you to do is use your own imagination, your own creativity. I want you to look with your own eyes and tell me what you see. And what you see will be different than anyone else's interpretation. And if it's based on theory, it will be valid. So what do I mean, reproduce the theory? Well, if we continue on with the theme of looking at the Arbus twins, then in the past, students have created images for me. For instance, somebody did two work boots. It was in black and white, just to be sure that we're clear. One of the boots is ahead of the other. One of the boots has more of an open orifice at the top. The laces are messier. So in this sense, she's recreated a lot of what was in the Arbus image in the first place. Next, you need to buy a disposable camera. And I know some of you are groaning at the thought of a disposable camera, but there is method to my madness, so let me explain. You need to buy a camera that it will be a color camera, but you're going to have to use it, and you're going to request that the images be reproduced in black and white. They will process it this way for you, and there is no extra charge for doing so. The camera and processing should cost less than $10. I would suggest you buy one with a flash. Give yourself the optimum opportunity to make your images work. And you can find these cameras at Shoppers, Walmart, dollar stores even have them. I know that at Walmart you can buy the camera and process it for under $10. Now the disposable camera, then you're going to take 12 exposures. Your camera might come with 24 or 27. You can continue to take pictures, but not for this project. So for your own personal use, you can click off another 12 pictures, or you can just take your camera, point to the floor, and click off 12 more images. You cannot use any additional technology, so don't go and rent out a lighting kit. That's not going to be acceptable for this assignment. Do the assignment early enough that you have time for the processing and so that you can reshoot it if necessary. I know one year I warned my students, I said, your assignments are due any day now. Please make sure that you get out there and do the assignment prior to the last minute, just in case you need to reshoot it. And it was winter and it hadn't snowed all year, and the night before the assignment was due, it snowed, and the very next day when I got all of the reports handed in, about 80% had snow in them. So it was kind of obvious to me when they were done. Nonetheless, what matters is that they work. So you can't come to me at the end and say, I shot them and they were all black and it didn't work. It's up to you to shoot them and to make sure that they work prior to the due date. Now, putting it all together, you're going to take your graded outline as page 1. You're going to create a second page, which again is 220 words, one page, and you're going to describe the process of trying to recreate the image. You're going to say, I went to do the boots and I moved to the left, I moved to the right, I went above, I went below, I tried to move them into a brighter area to get better lighting. You have one concept and one scenario. So your concept was the boots. All of your shots need to be of the boots. You can't do the boots and then a pair of gloves and then a pair of scissors. You can't change the concept for your 12 photos. If I've made suggestions on your graded outline, be sure to include them. Make sure that you have indicated how you included those when you did your shooting. This is the actual rubric, which you can also find. Everything is posted on eLearn in a Word document. We've covered this in class. This recording is to be of assistance to you if you've got any further questions or you want clarification. So for your final submission, you need a complete set of negatives. So if you've got 27 negatives, I want to see all 27, but 12 for the assignment only. Your images need to be numbered from 1 to 12, with 1 being your best. Your graded outline, your written report, and an original photocopy or print from your original photograph. So I want that as well. Now, I've posted that rubric again for you on eLearn. There's a checklist as well that can help you make sure that you've submitted this assignment correctly. And you might ask me, why is this assignment structured this way? Why do I have to use a disposable camera of all things? Well, the first reason is because I want to level the playing field. Some of you have really amazing equipment. Some of you don't. Some of you would have to get that equipment out of the, you'd have to take it out of the equipment room, and you might have to wait for it or whatever. This way you're guaranteed you're on the same plane as anyone else. The other reason I want you to do this is because when you take a photo and you've got a piece of film inside the camera, you know that when you press that shutter, you only get that one shot, that one time, and then you've got to do the next image. You can't put down your finger and take 50 images in a minute and then go back later and cull those images and find the one that you like the best. When you take a picture, as opposed to making a picture, which is what you do with digital, it's a different process. And the vast majority of the images that we've used in our class that you're going to see in the book and that we're going to cover were taken with film. And I want you to experience that wonderful technology that has been lost to some extent. I want you to consider this a personal challenge to use technology that's 125 years old. And I want you to be able to say, you made this assignment. Trust me, you will be proud of it when you're finished. If you have any questions, queries, concerns, please ask me. You can contact me at my office by phone or by email. And thank you very much.